Hello everyone and welcome to Braidsoul's Rewind, where today I'll be covering the Christmas version of Lisa. Now I really like this character. She's one of my favorite designs for a seasonal character, and for quite some time she was the only 5-star Lisa. Insert generic transition, let's begin. Now I started off with a normal attack damage build, and something I really liked about this Lisa is that her reach is pretty good for an older character. Of course it does help that she has long reach, but I think they also made it a little better because she has a spear, and it just makes sense. Now this Lisa started off with a 40% attack increase for a Link. Truly a terrible Link. She also has Bruiser at 20, and as I mentioned, a decent reach on her normal attacks. Unfortunately, this wasn't quite enough. I was dealing okay damage, don't get me wrong, but her normal attacks while having good reach are kind of slow, and they are very easily interrupted. I found myself using my strong attacks a lot under this build to knock enemies down, just so I was able to complete a normal attack string. And when that worked, it wasn't bad. Like I said, she dealt decent damage, but without any strong attacks ready, you're gonna have to dodge a lot, because it's hard to complete a normal attack string without getting hit. So yeah, as unfortunate as it is, this build is not viable. Next, we have the strong attack damage / strong attack recharge build. And Lisa's secondary trait she got when resurrected was a strong attack recharge link of 10%, which is actually pretty good. Not to mention that she actually has Havoc at 20%, increasing the range of her strong attacks. Unfortunately, before her resurrection she had Bombardment, meaning they weren't gonna give her Frenzy, and all they did was increase her Berserker from 40 to 50. Now, a 50% Berserker isn't terrible. Obviously, Frenzy would be much better, but in the past, characters have dealt decent damage with a 50% Berserker, and I wouldn't really say Lisa's an exception to that. She was dealing a decent amount of damage with some of her strong attacks, especially since in this inheritance zone, there were no hollows, which is what Lisa has a killer towards. Plus, her strong attack 1 has a 180 mag, and for not having Frenzy, it does hit a decent amount of times, making this actually her best strong attack, which is not something you see every day. Then we have her strong attack 3. It may not have the greatest range, but it also has an increased magnification of 140. Still, unless you really supercharge her SP, she just wasn't dealing enough damage. It also doesn't help that her strong attack 2 kinda sucks. So yeah, unfortunately this build, unless you really bump up her SP, is just not worth it. Now finally we have the hybrid build, and I would actually classify Lisa as a hybrid character. She has a higher attack than SP, and she's got an attack increase link, but she's also got Berserker at 50% and a secondary link of strong attack recharge. So it was no surprise that this build was the best of the three. She was able to deal decent damage with her strong attack 1 and 3, and she was easily able to pick off any remaining health with her normal attack. Plus the fact that she got her strong attacks faster meant that not only was she dealing damage to enemies, but she was also knocking them down to be able to complete strings on her normal attack, which is kinda sad, but it's the way it works with some of these older characters. Still, even with this build being the best of the three, it still took a lot longer than I would like to finish this quest, and it definitely didn't help that there was no hollows in it, since Lisa would have dealt 60% more damage to them and the quest would have been done a lot quicker. So I'm not exactly gonna say it's a viable build, but it's also not unusable. I'd say take it, but only when up against tech hollows. Now I will say, I didn't film it, but I did try using this Lisa against hollows, and she definitely fared a lot better. Though it was the droplet zone, so while she did do better, she did kinda get overwhelmed. I did complete the quest, but I had to dodge a lot. So I feel fine giving her the grade I did.
Jingle bell, hoo 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 hoo. 月の明かりでチョッピーが舞うのだ!
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other characters you want to see in a rewind.